So with the possibility of the N64 Classic coming out this year, I was doing a little bit of research to see what games people wanted on the Classic Edition. Being a huge N64 fan myself, it's my favorite console of all time. I found a Digital Trends article, and I thought I'd just give you guys my thoughts and opinions, whether or not I agree with their list or not, so let's take a look. Alright, so we are on the Digital Trends website. This is their article, 20 games we want to see on the N64 Classic. Now, like I said, I'm a huge N64 fan. It's my favorite console of all time. So I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on this list, whether or not I agree or disagree with them. Now, it does say in the article, which is going to be linked down below, that they're leaving out some rare games, rare as in the company, not hard to find games, obviously. But games that were on the rare replay, like Banjo-Kazooie and Turok. So, let's just keep that in mind while going over this list. And let's just jump right into it with number 1, which is the classic, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is a big yes. This and Majora's Mask, I feel like, need to be on this classic edition because they're staples in the N64 game library. Now, Ocarina of Time, not only is it my favorite game, it's one of the best games on the N64. It's a toss-up, in my opinion, between this and Super Mario 64, but I'm going to lean more towards Ocarina of Time because it's my favorite game. That's besides the point. But it has an amazing story, great gameplay, amazing music. And if this and Majora's Mask, which I'm not the biggest fan of Majora's Mask, but I do appreciate it, if they're not on the N64 Classic, I'll be very surprised. Like, extremely surprised. Like, if both of them aren't on there. Next up, we have Majora's Mask. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Majora's Mask. I appreciate it. I appreciate the gameplay. I know it has a unique gameplay mechanic with the whole time situation, which I get. It's just, I don't know, it's not my favorite Zelda game of all time, but like I said, I do appreciate it, and I would love to see it on the Classic Edition. So, I would say yes. Next up, we have GoldenEye 007. I love this game. I feel like it needs to be on the Classic Edition. The only issue is, I know Rare made it, so I don't know if that's going to be an issue with licensing, but this game is amazing. It brought first-person shooters to, like, the masses. I know there's, like, well, I should say multiplayer first-person shooters to the masses, and it was so much fun. I can't tell you how many hours I put into just multiplayer by itself, but the story mode is great. It was just fun. Like, I know a lot of people would say it hasn't aged well, looks-wise, and I'm not going to disagree. It's definitely not going to win any awards today for amazing or most gorgeous game, but it's so much fun. And if Nintendo can get the licensings or the rights or whatever for this game, that would be amazing. Next up, we have Super Mario 64. This is an obvious. This will be on the Classic Edition. Now, this is arguably one of the best games. It's, like I said, it's a toss-up between this and Ocarina of Time on the console. Back in the day when this was coming out, I know a lot of people were like a little skeptical. They're like, a 3D Mario game? That's not going to work. But it did, and it blew people's minds. It has great mechanics. The physics, like the jump mechanics, is amazing. The music is phenomenal. Honestly, I like the soundtrack to this game more than Ocarina of Time. Like, I legit listen to the soundtrack all the time, especially at the water levels. It's just so calming and relaxing. I just love it. Like, I seriously play it and I could easily just fall asleep to it, which is good. But yeah, this game is amazing, and it definitely needs to be on the Classic Edition. Coming up, we have Paper Mario, which is a game I actually just recently got, and I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but so far what I played, I've really enjoyed. And I know this is supposed to be like a successor to Super Mario RPG, so I definitely see this being on here. I know a lot of people love this game. It has a unique style. It's 2D, well, it's like 2.5D, and it just looks great. The music is great, so yeah, I definitely see this being on here, especially since there's not a lot of RPGs on the console, and I'm assuming you would consider this an RPG, maybe. But yeah, so I would definitely say yes. Next up, we have Wave Race 64. Yes, it's a racing game, but it's great. It's like a sports racing game, whatever you want to call it. But it's great. Like, the physics is just phenomenal. It has great music. It is pretty challenging, and I know a lot of people love this game. Is it a classic? I would say yes. So I would definitely love to see this on the console, because it's just a multiplayer game too, which would be really fun to play. So I definitely see this being on the console. Next up, we have Rayman 2: The Great Escape. I'm kind of on the fence about this one. It's a great game, and I know Ubisoft and Nintendo, they're kind of like buddies. Is it a classic though? Some would say yes. I personally would not put it on here. I would rather have like Banjo-Kazooie on here. That's just my opinion. It is a good game though. So, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this one. So maybe. Next up, we have Donkey Kong 64. I would definitely say yes. I know Rare made this game. That's gonna be a common theme in like the N64 games. A lot of the great games are made by Rare. But yeah, this is a great game. I spent a lot of time playing it. I know some people that absolutely just love this game, and I totally see why. It's great. The music is great. I know there's some things that are a little buggy in it, but I love it. I really do. I really do like it, and I definitely see this being on the Classic Edition. Next up, Diddy Kong Racing. Now, if this game is on the Classic Edition, I will cry with joy. I love this game so much. I personally think it's better than Mario Kart. Throwing that out there. For one, I like the music way better. I think it has more variety. Like, vehicle-wise, you can use an airplane, you can use a hovercraft, and obviously you can use a cart. But it's just so much fun. The story mode is great. The only issue is, you guessed it, it was made by Rare. There's a lot of Rare characters in here, like Diddy Kong and Conkers. So it's like, plus, I don't think Nintendo, as much as it pains me to say this, I don't think they're going to put this on Classic Edition. Only because, well, besides the Rare character issue, but they're going to have Mario Kart 64 on here. I don't know if they're going to have 2 racing games like that on here. I would love to see it on here. If they put it on here, I will be super happy. But if not, I totally understand why they didn't. But yeah, this game is just it's a classic, so I think it belongs on the Classic Edition. Next up, we have Star Fox 64. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest Star Fox fan, but I do appreciate this game. This is the game where the infamous do a barrel roll came from. So a lot of people love this game. I totally get it, and don't forget, on the SNES Classic, they had Star Fox and Star Fox 2, so just having this on there just makes sense. I get it. So, yeah, I can see this being on here. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I'm gonna say no. Personally, I feel like the Tony Hawk games aren't that great on Nintendo platforms, like the N64. Not good. I mean, besides like the GameCube era, but on the N64, they're not that great in my opinion. I can see this being on like a PlayStation Classic, which totally makes sense, but N64 Classic, no. I'd rather see like Diddy Kong Racing, Turok, Banjo, even like Chameleon Twist, I would love to see on here, or like Mischief Makers, not Tony Hawk. So that's gonna be a no for me. Yeah, no. However, 1080 Snowboarding, I definitely possibly being on here. Will it? I'm not 100% sure. Again, I'm kind of on the fence about this one as well. It's a great game. It's a sports game. but it's really, really fun. I enjoy it. I know a lot of people that enjoy it as well. It's a good game. Will it be on the Classic? I don't know. I just don't know. Mario Kart 64, again, it's going to be an obvious. They had Mario Kart or Super Mario Kart on SNES Classic. It just makes sense to put it on the N64 Classic. I know a lot of people love this game. It's a good game. I just think Diddy Kong Racing is better. That's my opinion. Just saying. But yeah, this is definitely going to be on the Classic Edition. It just makes sense. So, yeah. Next up, we have Pokemon Snap. Now, back in the day, when I was a wee lad, I honestly did not like this game. I thought it was boring. And all my friends were like, yo, you lame. You don't like this game. You're dumb. And looking back on my younger self, I would agree with them. I'm stupid. Because I went back and played this just a couple months ago. Like, I was sick, and I was like, let me just play Pokemon Snap. I fell in love with it. It's such a fun game. This and Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium's a little bit slower, but I love it. But Pokemon Snap, yes, definitely. Even Pokemon Puzzle League, I would love to see, because that's a really fun game. But yeah, I would also love to see a sequel come to the Switch. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, Pokemon Snap, I would love to see on the Classic Edition. And Pokemon Stadium, what do you know? It is a little bit slow. Like, the battle system is kind of slow, and some people may find it a little bit boring. I like it. I think it's fun. It's super easy. It's relaxing. The mini games are phenomenal. I love them. I love the mini games in Pokemon Stadium. So I would love to see this on the Classic Edition, especially if you're able to use the transfer pack. That'd be amazing, because people like me and like retro gamers that own the Game Boy Pokemon games, they're gonna be able to use it. It'd be freaking amazing. Next up, we have Super Smash Bros. Again, it's a classic. I definitely see this being on here. It's all Nintendo characters, and it just makes sense. So, it's a fun game. I know a lot of people don't consider it a fighting game, which kind of blows my mind. I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. It can be super challenging and frustrating, and it's just a really good multiplayer game as well, which is what the N64 is known for, was multiplayer. And yeah, I love it. I totally see this being on the Classic. I'll be very surprised if it's not, honestly. Next up, we have Mario Party. This one, I would have to say Mario Party 2 or 3 I would rather see, but instead of having like Rayman or Tony Hawk, I would rather have all 3 Mario Parties. They're great. Mario Party, so fun, so frustrating. I can't tell you how many times I've rage quit playing Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3. It's just ridiculous, but yeah, I'd see this being on here. I would like to see all 3 on here, but will we? I don't know. But I feel like there's definitely going to be at least one Mario Party. Then we have Kirby 64 Crystal Shards. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I'm not a big Kirby fan. It's just not my type of game, but I know so many people love Kirby, and I get it. I see why. It's just, I don't know, I just never really connected with me. Maybe I have to go back and try to replay them all. But it just makes sense since there's Kirby on every single other like Nintendo Classic Edition, so it makes sense. A lot of people say this game is amazing. I personally never really played it, but I played other Kirby games. I'm just not a big fan, but I can totally see this being on there. Next up, we have Yoshi's Story. Again, another game I've never played, but it's Nintendo, so it makes sense that they would have this on here. I believe they had Yoshi's Cookie on one of the Classic Editions. I think. Not 100% sure, but it just makes sense. It would be easy for them, since they own all the rights, to just put it on a Classic Edition. Next up, we have Mario Tennis. Will this be on the Classic Edition? Maybe. I can see why. It is a really fun game. If you've never played it, it's actually really fun. But I don't know if it will be on the Classic Edition. This is another one like Rayman 2. I'm kind of on the fence about. I could see them putting it on, but I'm not going to be like butthurt if it's not on. So, yeah, I think it would be fun, but I don't know if they'll put this on. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the video. If you agree or disagree with me or the article, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, it's also going to be linked down below. This way you can go back, check it out on your own time if you want to. This way you can read what they wrote. Also linked down below is my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Patreon to be as awesome as Dana Smith. She helps support my channel, you can too. With that being said, you guys rock, stay rad, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.